music for the background for me. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to jump us over to just like a temporary map. So we'll pick up where we were. It's dawn of the second day. The sky is kind of lightening from amber to a lighter gold. And you were all talking to Lelcan, the member of the Night Axe Ogres. So we'll jump to that map. If we remember, Lelcan's about 9 feet tall, so much bigger than all of you.
Right.
But he's been politely sitting this whole time.
I'm suitably impressed by him. I see that I am to be the chronicler this time out.
Yeah.
And to be clear, I just put that in the chronicle, our quest log thing, or the journal.
The journal, yes. So if you click on it, it should pop up.
Oh, I see. Wait.
It's unclickable for me today.
Yeah, it's decided to hate me, which... Wait, there's a very small area. There's a very small area that I've been in. Oh, very nice.
Okay, yeah.
This is very thorough. Okay.
Okay, but yeah, you would just click, update journal or update log, and then just kind of take bullets, and then I'm going to add to it for when we do the session notes.
Well, it's quite thorough at this point. I'm not sure if you or B are responsible for that, but it's exceptionally thorough.
That's all B. Yeah, she was taking great notes.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
Let's try to keep up.
All right. So a dwarf, a tree, a goblin, and a man walk into the woods.
Lelcan's going to continue. If you would follow me, I can take you to my master, and we can get information on the Dibor.
Lead the way.
I'll stand and follow.
I'll also follow.
Okay. You're going to trek through pretty heavy jungle, but since you have a guide, you will not be rolling for random encounters this time.
I'll be keeping an eye on our back, just in case anything picks up on us, and the 9-foot-tall guy starts following.
Like how is the marching order?
I'll be last.
Okay.
I'll walk side by side with our new friend.
I'll be next to last, because I also like to keep an eye on them.
I'll be solidly behind our new friend.
Our guide and our own.
Okay. For a 9-foot-tall giant, Lelcan in his jangling bones is otherwise quite silent. His feet seem to find the soft jungle floor and none of the dead leaves or branches or anything that would make too much noise, and pretty nimble, dodging between trees and bushes and shrubs. Occasionally, as you get through some of the denser parts, he's holding branches back for you guys.
Oh, how kind.
So we are going to travel to HS3 0303, which is, I'm just going to jump out of character here really quick. So, go ahead.
Before you bring us to the place, I'm suddenly remembering that crimes and lies are possible, and therefore I would like to roll insight to see if Lelcan is bringing us to our inevitable deaths,
Okay.
or if we have judged correctly.
Sure.
So let me go ahead and roll insight. There's how I click there. Let's see. So that's not great, so obviously I'm going to... That is much better. I will take my blow to wits.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gives me 2 successes. I'll take my blow.
Yes, it does. Failure. Okay. Everything about Lelcan's heavy gait and his kind of like direct eye contact as he talks to you all as you're walking through the jungle, like everything about him speaks to his trustworthiness. It doesn't seem like he's tense at all or like leading you astray.
Mm-hmm.
Boss.
Are you gonna
Love to hear
like
it.
keep that to yourself, or kind of like try to signal people, or what are you gonna do with that knowledge?
If does anyone in my party appear to be concerned about the giant ogre situation? Are we all really chill about this?
I'm a little tense.
I get a good vibe from him.
Situation.
All right. Well, I'll wander back, and you'll pardon me as I struggle to remember names. I see. I'll lurk back to Ja and indicate that everything was okay with the universal sign that everything is cool and is chill. The thumbs up.
Okay, cool.
Very-
Yeah, so just for reference, if you need reminder of party names, you can go to the actors tab in the players folder you guys all have access to. So back on map travel, it is going to take a watch to travel. So if the watch captain could jump to the time reference page and move us ahead a watch. This is a point to make that the field guide to Hot Springs Island that you all have, it's not always 100% accurate. So I believe in there it lists the White Rock Springs as like the main location for Hex 3, so 301. But it's actually 303. So, as you remember from last time, my kind of a brief of every time you travel to a hex, unless you're going specifically to a location that you already know, you're going to end up in the main spot. So if you guys had tried to travel to White Rock Spring, you would not have arrived there. But since your guide knows the way, he can take you directly there. And then now that you know the way, you can go directly there if you go to that hex. But otherwise, you'd be dropping into the main spot. So just a reminder that the field guide is only about 60% accurate.
Okay.
I choose to trust it implicitly and never doubt its word. Dreadfully unwise. Anyway, please continue.
Okay, so you arrive. Breaking through the dense jungle into a clearing, you see ahead of you a mound of sparkling white rock, in the middle of which is a large clear spring. And around the spring immediately you see several other ogres. All of them seem a little bit bigger than your friend, and they appear to be talking amongst themselves.
Anything we can understand?
No, they appear to be speaking in their own language, which is the snatches you can
primitive.
You can catch of it. Yeah, it's something between like rocks rolling down a hill and thunder and pretty booming. It would be really difficult for your throats to replicate it.
Have I developed a spontaneous phobia of ogres? They
Not
saw
yet.
the big giant. All right, very good. Well then, we'll just carry forward then.
I would like to grab our host's elbow and pull him aside and say, "Are these friend or foe?"
The Night Axe ogres are all friends. We all work together against our oppressors. I will go ahead and make introductions. We do not want to startle anyone.
My new friend, I must say I'm a bit nervous about all of this.
I understand, but...
I trust you.
Thank you. I do promise this is a peaceful meeting only.
I will unnotch my bow and stow it. Or just hold it in my hand, but with nothing armed.
Gotcha. Okay. So again, that deep, gravelly speech is rolling back to you guys, and you see the other ogres kind of like glancing around the shoulders of Lilcan and looking at you, and the...
Do we follow him up?
It's up to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll follow him up and then just kind of like come off to the side a little bit.
Okay. You notice that this pair of ogres, closest to you, besides Lokan, are they're about 10 feet tall, and unlike the other ogres, which are all heavily muscled but also very fat in this their gray skin kind of tough face way, these ogres closest to you are very lean and just like rippling with muscle, and they basically are staring at you pretty silently. Behind them, the regular ogres that all look the same token-wise are pretty indistinguishable in person as well. They're about 12 feet tall, and like I said, just hide armor over rippling fat, which is buried under layers of, rippling muscle under layers of fat. They definitely look like they would have no problem attacking. And it looks like they all are armed with various like Obsidian axes. And then headdress guy over here is kind of in that 11 and 12 foot tall range as well, and he similar to Lelkan has a headdress, but his is much more elaborate, and instead of featuring bones, it features some kind of feathered creature in a motley of bright orange and yellow feathers, and some other creature's been kind of worked into it to give him his headdress horns as well. And after a few moments of speaking, he is going to approach Jaw. So, if others are going to keep their distance or move up.
I'm going to move up.
The one with the headdress will approach me. Okay.
That's right.
I take a knee in front of him to show respect.
Okay. So when he's about 10 feet away, he drops the axes kind of tucked into his belt. He has two huge obsidian axes that are basically as big as you guys. He drops them in the dirt, and he will also take a knee right in front of you, Jaw. And he nods to you in respect.
I'll do the fist in the palm thing, bow my head real quick, look back at him.
Very cool. How's everyone else reacting to this giant crouching down beside or in front of you all?
I'm staying at the edge of the group.
Anxiously, and trying to be open, but a little bit anxious, yes.
Completely immobile, no kneeling, trying to make it look like I've always grown there. Just
Nice touch.
start
Okay.
blend in with the scenery.
Plant your roots.
Yeah.
He begins to speak in your own tongue, and a little more haltingly than Lelkan did.
Mm.
I am Gravrock, leader of the Night Axe Ogres. Lelkan explained to me that he perhaps gave too much information to you, but as newcomers, you have pledged to do some services to ease our war effort.
That is correct.
Might I confirm with you, just myself, that you do not serve Suvarku?
Quick reminder, Svartku.
Suvarku is the leader of the Fuganats, and then Lelkan also asked you, when he first met you, that if you worked for him.
Okay.
So he was the one who originally owned the Night Axe Ogres.
I'm shaking my head forcefully and doing the thumbs down symbol.
Absolutely not. I wouldn't dream of it.
He pauses and looks you each in the eye, and then nods, and I take you at your word. Now, it seems you have chosen to face this dire boar. We can take you to the hill where it lives, and may I ask how you plan to enter the cave?
Figure out how we get there.
Can I ask you a couple questions, my friend?
Most certainly.
Is there any reason you have not hunted this boar for meat yourself?
Our our food needs are seen to by Magok, who has beached many whales on the coast, and we harvest them.
Can I assume
But-
that's their deity?
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had told you last time that this is a
Gotcha.
small god of vengeance.
Gotcha.
He gestures behind him to all the night axe ogres that are kind of like grouped up and kind of muttering amongst themselves. The forces. Oh, sorry. The forces you see here are nearly my full might. We are stretched thin against the Fuganats and do not have many to spare.
Understood. Did you plan on helping us with this hunt?
I can help through knowledge, but I will not be sending any ogres with you.
Of course. It would have been exceptional. Past our how you say, a trail off.
Yeah.
I admire your weaponry. Is there any way we could make a trade? It looks like it might be useful in this area.
So you're asking about his obsidian weapons?
Yeah. I want to see if we can get us a piece.
Or where they harvest it.
Yeah.
One of the blessings of Magok was to give us the power to form obsidian with our own hands as if it were clay. We can make many weapons. If you seek to trade, that is an item that we would be willing to trade if you had something we would desire. But we need no other weapons.
I ask my compatriots if they have anything to trade, because I only have weapons to trade in this time.
I only have my knife, I'm afraid. But of course, anything I can offer would be offered. Great One, may I ask? I didn't ask earlier, and maybe I was told, but I have forgotten. Why do we wish the boar dead?
It has killed many of my warriors, but it also kills Fuganat slaves as well, so I do not necessarily want it dead, but inside of its cave there is a large boulder. It has some magic upon it that draws items of metal to it. Many have tried to slay the dire boar, and its hide is very thick. Even magical weapons seem to stick into it and stick in its hide, and when it returns from slaying, it scrapes itself against the sides of the cave, and especially this boulder. So over time, a collection of weapons of great power tend to build up there every few months as new adventurers bring their gear. That is mainly what we seek. If you can enter the cave either through combat or stealth, we would ask that you bring us all the items in the cave and give us first pick, and then this way you would earn our trust.
Couple things. Long-term plans. Would it not be better to leave the boar to live its life and continue bringing these things into the cave and have the cave as a beehive for honey?
You mean a trap for the Fuganats?
Perhaps.
That had been my consideration, but I had heard that warriors under Zavarku had been trying to breach the cave and gather these weapons, so...
Have you seen them lately?
First. I have only seen the ones being faced in combat. I have not been observing the Dire Boar's cave, but my scouts occasionally check that area, and the Fuganat activity in that area has been increasing.
Real quick, do we know the race of Fuganats?
Nope.
Species? Okay.
Based on the field guide, they're flipping weird maniacs that are fire and lava themed.
Oh, great.
They're straight up imps, bro. Like they're into it. They're doing the whole fire.
Let me ask
Yeah,
you, my
they hang out in the volcano. That's their
we.
hideout that Locan told you last time.
My friend, do you have problem with these peoples when you collect your sharp dark rocks, your obsidian?
Thankfully, the obsidian grows all over the island, deep from the volcanic core, and we can harvest elsewhere besides the volcano.
Do you have a favorite spot? Perhaps we need to best prepare ourselves before this diving into a mad boar, magical boar, who is deeply sought after. This golden goose, if you will.
I assure you, it is a boar.
Of course. My people have a story. Don't worry about it. The boar lives in a cave, right?
Right.
Okay.
Are you asking for weaponry before you
I am.
face the
Yeah.
beast?
Yes.
Yes.
On a loan, maybe. We could give it back if you need. I don't have anything to trade.
Do you have craftspeople amongst you that can help us make things better suited for the island, for this new environment we find ourselves in?
As I said, we can work the obsidian directly with our hands, and Lilcan does tell me that you seek to not only face the beast, but also free some of our friends. And if you would do both these things, we will make weapons now to arm you as you see fit, and then if that would better equip you to fulfill these quests.
My friend, I swear on our honor, that would be a great boon to both of our causes.
Okay,
so basically, what weapons does
Can I
everybody want?
make a Among Us reference and state that statement is...
That statement is sus.
Just goes saying.
Yeah, it was going to be extremely funny. But...
Does the obsidian hold any special property compared to iron or steel? Or is it just the abundant material?
It's just like it's much more abundant than any metals on the island.
Right. And there's no manufacturing and
right. They don't know metalworking, so it's just
It's not like necessarily
what's
magical or
easy
anything.
for uneducated slaves to use.
it's not Minecraft where obsidian's just awesome.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I mean,
Hey, you never
I
know.
would say that I do. Well, never mind. I was about to talk about, hey, obsidian's pretty cool.
Yeah, can we open another portal?
Yeah,
We can use it in place of flint, and I don't know if we actually have the means to start a fire. So
This is a good point.
Sorry, I thought it had some kind of magical property that we needed because everybody else had it. Felt right.
Could you,
No, it's just normal obsidian.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask if I can get. I'm gonna basically maximize how many arrows I can bring with me, instead of being stuck with 10, so that I can more. I don't know. Shoot arrows with less inhibition.
Okay, so if you want arrows, they can make you arrows where to the point of for one encounter, you basically have unlimited arrows, and then after that they're spent. You're back to your regular amount. I mean.
Okay, that sounds great.
What's
Shizu
everyone
was
else
gonna
want?
suggest a boar. Usually, don't you want a big boar spear? Actually, the best way to kill a boar would be perhaps to lure it into a pit full of spears. I think that sounds better than we can sneak up on it and chop its head off.
this is an exceptional idea.
I have one spear, so you guys want to get more spears?
No, I think if this is a big boar, then we probably need to dig a big pit and have lots of spears.
How do you plan on digging? I enjoy the plan, but we lack tools. We make shovel from obsidian.
I suppose if that's the material we have to work with.
Well, we could find a cliff and trick the thing off it, or drive it to the top of the cliff and then drive it off the edge onto some spikes. So we have some options there.
Do we know there is a cliff near the cave? Is the cave
No.
not at the foot of the mountain?
I'm not sure.
The cave of the dire boar is on top of a hill in a rocky outcropping. The area is dotted with some cliffs. All these plans sound good. It sounds as you need arrows, some obsidian spikes, and a set of digging implements.
I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if this would be appropriate at this point. At some point, would it be possible to beg that you shape a bowl or cooking stone for me? I lost my cauldron, you see.
So yeah, that could be your item. So Suzgo wants spikes, arrows. For Ja, Zernak wants a bowl, and then Z, what are you asking for?
An obsidian dagger.
Okay. And then shovels basically for you all.
Quick question. While he sends whoever to make these items, can we assist them making something else for us? Point being, I want to make a large net.
I have rope. Can I use my rope?
I do have rope as well, I believe.
Oh,
Um,
2 ropes better than one.
I risked drowning to have a little bit of rope.
So basically, Glavrock's response to that is, I will make the items now before you, and as for further assistance, I must decline that we do so. I do appreciate that you are taking this task on for us, but until they're actually done, I do not want to spend too many resources on this relationship. I hope you understand. But
Understood.
we
Yes,
must
of
move
course.
on in our patrols.
Of course.
So basically, he's gonna just move to the side of
Yeah.
the spring and dig down and pull up,
Just dig out obsidian.
hunks of obsidian, and it basically like wet clay is just smushed into shape, or whatever you need. So you can all add the various equipment to your.
I'm glad we have him as a friend. At least for now.
Great one, may I ask, how do you possess this ability? It seems incredibly useful on these isles.
It is not inherent to the Night Axe ogres. When we were slave, we used tools as other creatures, but when we rebelled, the small god Magok was traveling across the island and felt our calls for vengeance, and because we feed what he oversees, he granted us this boon. I am
see.
the strongest worker, but others can help me, and a few more ogres do come up and try and start helping as well.
I ask, this great god, Magok, who was so merciful to you guys in your challenging moment, is there any way that we might, at some point, having earned your trust, gain an audience with them?
Perhaps. It is here at this spring when we first communed.
I see. Interesting. Thank you so much.
Are these giant lily pads?
Yep.
Does that imply the existence of giant
Yeah.
rocks?
Maybe.
Yeah, the bigger ones are basically like raft size to you guys. So,
How
But
deep
yes.
is it before the lily pad?
I mean, you saw when you first arrived, some Night Axe ogres were standing basically waist deep, about
Up to my head.
4 feet.
a few, yeah, basically a few meters away from shore. So it's at least that deep. Other than that, you have to test.
I'm going to try and climb onto the lily pad, even if I have to wade into the water.
Okay.
Take
okay,
off my
so for the-
clothes, armor, and then
I'm gonna watch.
get down to my single leaf, and then walk into the water. And
Nice. Okay, so yeah, the bottom has a very gradual slope to it. Basically, the closest lily pad you can get to when it's basically about neck deep to you. It does seem like the slope continues downward after the lily pad.
does the lily pad support my weight?
Yes, this thing barely bobs under at all. Like, you get a little water splash up on it climbing up to it, and it's awkward and flexible, but otherwise it supports your weight quite easily.
I'll lean back and relax in it a little bit.
In the interest of being a suspicious bastard, I'm going to idly patrol around this glade that we're in and kind of see if anything I see doesn't make any sense, you know?
What did there are fall trees and spring trees simultaneously? Stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's a very solid point. That is something I might want to be concerned about.
A tree would notice such a thing.
I'll be most concerned if I find a series of skinned bodies hanging from one of these trees.
Right.
That's
Predator
most
style.
important. Yeah, exactly.
Are there any other natural resources around? At least,
Anything from the field guide?
To the field guide.
Can I get a scouting roll for the group?
You guys want me to do it?
Scouter. Yeah, I'm
By
not
all
a good
means.
scouter.
I'm pretty good.
Fantastic. And I'll just
I
be
will
looking
help.
around to add and help you.
Does that add anything?
Yeah, so you basically, for everyone helping, you get +1 die to roll.
So is that a +2?
It's
Pretty good.
pretty
Nice.
good.
Solid.
Scout that land.
Okay. 1 second.
I'm hoping we find something that could act as like a sleep poison. I don't necessarily want to kill this boar. It sounds like a golden boar to me.
Why do we not want to kill this boar?
Sounds hard too.
A, it sounds hard. B, it continually attracts magical items to it and metal, which is really rare here.
Well, yeah, but by way of murder, right? Like it kills people.
It attracts by eating the previous owners.
Yay.
And
Yeah, I don't want to be that person.
yeah,
Let's
so
put it to sleep.
let's not get eaten and let it eat other people that then we don't have to deal with. And then take their stuff. Like if we come up with a nice system of bait the boar out, get it distracted for long enough that, you know, me and the goblin can run in, grab some bits and run out.
So you're suggesting that I'm going to be running into this cave multiple times?
I mean, if you
Really
don't
sneaky one.
want to, I will.
I mean, yeah, I guess as a source of future loot, you know, just swing by the cave every few weeks.
Yeah.
Zernak, you guys can tell, despite being literally on the other side of the glade, once we get together to have this conversation, appears visibly nervous about slaying plans to increase wealth.
I'm not sure I'm on board with this plan of sneaking past a dire boar to steal its treasure on a regular basis.
Well, I mean, we'll do it once and then see how it goes from
See how
there.
it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me reveal the results of the roll. So, Zernak walking around and keeping watch. You don't see anything threatening, although you are a little bit startled as in your patrols around the perimeter, you see 2 other Night Axe ogres on opposite sides, just standing a few feet into the brush, kind of keeping watch. They reveal themselves to you, they making small waves as they see that it looks like you're having peaceful interactions with the rest of the group, and they don't really engage with you. As for resources, that was Z looking for resources? Okay.
Ja was scouting
Ja,
on behalf
okay.
of all of us from his
Yeah.
high up lily pad.
I'll hop off the lily pad. I just wanted to test if it could hold my weight.
So, Ja, you see two things, and I'll let you react to each. Kind of about 3 meters into the northwest side of the jungle, you see some small gray boulders that are covered with a dark gray moss that's kind of dotted with rusty brown color. And if you want to do anything with that, you can. Otherwise,
Yeah, I'll bring it to our dear human friend and help me identify what this may be.
okay, so you bring it to Lilcan.
Yeah.
You have found the adventurers call it Flint Moss. It's extremely careful. Even in your own hands, you need to be careful rubbing it together too much.
I'll place it on the
Fire?
ground.
It's for fire.
Yes, indeed. Just the lightest friction can cause it to burst into flame.
When it rubbed together, it does the same thing?
Yes.
Interesting.
Even a small chunk of the moss about the size of your thumb could burn for up to 3 hours.
Very good. Let me ask you. You are smart people who have lived here a long time. If you were to want to bring this moss from one place to another, how would you do it?
If we need to transport it, we wrap it in leaves and saturate it with water before transferring it.
Lovely. I am going to go back to the pond with this moss. I'm gonna find not a boat-sized lily pad, but one of those other littler ones. Cut it off at the stalk, dip the moss, get it waterlogged, put it in the lily pad, wrap it up in the lily pad.
Nice. Okay.
I'm then going to take a little piece and see what I need to do between it being waterlogged to ignition point.
Okay, where are you testing this at?
On the beach, and I'll leave the lily pad of stuff like where the treant is currently.
Okay.
Over here.
Gotcha.
I'll leave it over here, and I'll test it over here.
Okay. So you're kind of like rubbing it with a stick or something while it's wet.
Yeah, or rubbing it on itself, just, you know.
Okay. Well, if you're rubbing it with your hand, let's make a roll for that.
I have a thumb-sized piece.
If you have...
Do the ogres yell at me? Like, once they start watching me, are they like, idiot, what are you doing?
No, they're just kind of watching and shaking their heads.
Okay.
And
Oh.
So can you make just a straight agility attack unless you have something else you want to... If you have, like, move, I guess you could try that as well.
Yeah. I'll do a move. I will push it. How do I do the push?
At the top of your character sheet, there's a little skull that says push, and that will push your last roll you made.
I will.
Okay.
I'll push it again.
Can you push it?
I can. I have 2 willpowers.
Oh,
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, everyone
I get
has
1
2
back,
willpower,
though.
Remember? Okay. All right. Since you pushed it twice and got some nice skulls pile up there, you're gonna go ahead and take 2 strength damage. As it really only takes about 15 seconds of rubbing for like the water to be pressed out of this against the stone, and it to burst into basically a campfire-sized blaze, even from the small little chunk right in front of you. And
I'm going to immediately roll into the pond. Screaming.
2 ogres are fishing you out and like dunking you back in a couple times just to
Right, make sure.
It's really extinguished, and
Yeah.
then another one is just throwing handfuls of water, these like huge, like bucket-sized handfuls of water onto the fire, and it like takes quite a while to douse it.
Okay. Well, noted.
It's very useful. How
Um,
much are you carrying with you?
I have what I assume is a like a large grapefruit-sized wad inside
so
of a
we'll say-
lily pad.
We'll say that's 5 uses of basically what you just did, or you can combine it for a bigger effect.
One big thing, yeah. Got
One
it.
big fire pets.
Or any deviation between them, yeah.
Okay, so equipment is made. You have your Flint Moss. Is there anything else you guys want before they show you the hill?
Did she
or-
find anything?
You're gonna start. Oh yes. Z, on your patrols, you see 3 4-legged creatures. They're this like coarse brown color, and a few or 2 of them have kind of white spots on their back, and they appear almost like some kind of bulky deer to you, but the face is what sticks out. They have these horns kind of coming out of this long, this long, almost like stopping before the point it gets to like elephantine face of protrusion, and these yellow eyes with no pupil.
How big are they? You said they're
They're
the deer size.
they're kind of like big elk size, I would guess. So basically almost as tall as you at the shoulder, quadrupeds.
Since I don't know if they're pets, do I know if they're pets or food, or am I just guessing that
You
they're?
would be guessing.
I'm gonna try and lasso one. I have rope. I'll use my rope and try and lasso one.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
What role? Animal handling.
Aggressive animal handling.
Marksmanship.
And basically, yeah, whatever you can justify. Animal handling, you can just say like that's something you've done in the past. Like whatever skill you think you could justify for that. I'm.
Could I
open to-
justify? Would you accept sleight of hand because I am good with my hands?
It's a flick of the wrist.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take that.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. I'm gonna push it.
We're fucking
Push it
up.
to the limit. All right, you managed to lasso a nice little a fern, or yeah, a fern. So these creatures kind of like
New friend.
just slowly turn their heads and watch the rope sail past them and tie up a plant, and then like look back at you and then turn and kind of run away.
Did anyone see it? This is very important.
You did get 2 skulls, so I'm gonna say some ogres did see your shame.
I'm embarrassing
Resume
myself in the
being a
pond.
tree. Resume being a tree.
You see Jaw still smoking and drawing half the attention away from you. So.
We're doing
Fair.
great there.
Yeah. I smell great though.
Yeah, while they're doing all this, I'm gonna help tie obsidian spear points to long wooden shafts.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll say you've been kind of like carving those shafts too during this time while everything's being made and scouted.
Just shaking his head as we're all just tripping over ourselves.
Hey, I'm making a spear to
No, I mean- You're making the wisest move out of all of us.
It'll be useful for something else, but
Yeah.
I'm still down with my lure the boar into the spears plan.
I'm down for it too. And if I
Make a
gotta,
pivot to fire if necessary.
yeah, or, put fire right before the spears so it freaks out, doesn't think if it can think anymore, and then charges right towards me on the other side of the spear pit.
I think we are going to have to think out how exactly we will
Absolutely.
lure or drive the boar into a spear trap, because I suspect that this thing, first of all, is probably very fast and very tough. And secondly, if it survived as long as it has on this island and even scares the night ogres,
Yeah,
it's probably
a big
for a
deal.
boar fairly smart, which means it's not just going to stumble into any random pit for it.
And it could probably smell fire moss or pit. What is it?
It's a Flint Moss.
Flint moss. It could probably smell it out as well, which we could use to our advantage, where we can. Is it sand around the pond?
No, it's a white stone.
Oh right. Are there any chips of it or any?
Yeah.
I take a piece of
small-
obsidian and I start drawing with it on the white stone. To like trying to like map out what we're doing, right? Football coach, X's and O's, arrows pointing.
There is
Okay,
a
so some
rumor-
of the night axe ogres that put you out are gonna direct it, like kind of push you towards the like dirt and underbrush to do that, and they're like, careful, little one, we do not want to be harming this spring.
I see.
Of course, because of the god.
Other than what was your god's name?
Megal.
No.
Other than the Mickle, does the stone
Correct.
does this stone hold a special life to it? I meant no disrespect.
And the wrong ogres by you. So one of the night axe ogres is gonna say, when the god Magog lets us make new Edgesworn, this is where they appear if they survive. This land is sacred to us, and I ask you not to harm it.
I see. Go down on one knee, bow the head, like kind of ask for forgiveness, but quickly. I'll get
He
up.
gives you a pat on the head and almost knocks you down.
Great. I'll walk over to our goblin friend, grab one of the sticks that doesn't have a spear point in it yet, and try and draw in the dirt near him to start making the plan. Because I assume me and him are also having a back and forth about the plan, and we'll all just kind of organically gather.
Yeah. So you can use the actual drawing tools. I think you guys have access to them, and sketch something out to the left side here.
Okay.
Like whatever you're going to be drawing in the dirt.
It's a pencil.
Yeah.
Okay. Draw a rectangle. Freehand. Hell yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Can you see that I wrote bore?
So
Can't delete it.
we've got the. Oh, there's a limit. Whoa. I am
I can
pressing.
see your boar.
Weird.
No, hold on. I'm pressing all kinds of buttons.
Here, I cleared it.
Appreciate it. All right.
Where are
So
you drawing at, B?
I was drawing to the left of us. Let me see if I can.
I
This
just see the blue
rectangle.
lines.
is there an eraser?
No.
You
You have to, like,
you have
select
to
it.
delete everything.
You can
The
select
trash
what you're
can on the
looking
bottom.
for.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. So, assuming this is the cave, yeah.
Oh, you're way left of it. I see. I
I
see.
do have to click.
Sorry, I
No, you're
I
good.
accidentally deleted that.
Assuming this is the cave, yeah.
Yep.
Let's assume there's a path we want this boar to follow. Okay.
I'm not seeing the map right now. What do I?
Just left off of the map. We make a pit trap with spikes. Yeah? We're good so far?
Yeah.
Well, so
Maybe there's your spikes.
we get the board. Come outside.
Beautiful.
How do we make the board come outside? I yell at it. I shoot an arrow. I do my thing, yeah? So, boar come outside. He chased me. I am very quick. No worries. Hugh has my back. He has every dwarf back. We're good. He chased me. He chased me to Pit Trap. I know what Pit Trap is. He does not know what Pit Trap is. Here is the question. How do I go over this Pit Trap and the board does not?
Depending on your agility, your rope.
I have an idea. We put a small lily pad on top of Pit Trap and we fill with water. Lily pad is just big enough to hold me, yeah? Not a large board.
Genius. Then you can put the,
Of course, this would look very strange, yes? A pond in the middle of this region that the board knows very well.
So you're gonna use the lily pad like as a raft to get across, basically?
Just enough of a stepping stone that I can barely get across.
and Skull and I can wait outside the cave.
Like, it
Out of
sinks,
sight.
it starts sinking a little bit from my weight, but it definitely won't support anything larger than a dwarf.
Got you. Okay.
So, this is plan A. I would like to have plan B and C just in case, yeah?
All right. As you look around, all the ogres seem to be leaving, except Lilcan, who has moved close. And if you want to say any like parting words, otherwise they're going to be heading off on patrol.
Okay. Good luck, my friends. May you come back safe.
They all nod.
I bow respectively and wave to them, etc.
Give him the thumbs up.
Lilcan kind of crouches down and like with one clawed finger makes an addition to your drawing.
Okay.
The only issue I see so far is this.
Getting the board to come to me.
Your pit trap needs to be much bigger.
Maybe plan B.
I see.
Yes.
What if there's two boars? What
So-
if,
There has been rumors that there are more than one boar on the island, and the most dominant of
Oy.
the moment is the one who earns the right to the cave, but we have not confirmed this.
Do they travel in the pack? Do they travel amongst themselves? They're all solitary.
If they see another of their kind, there will only be one. After
I
that.
see. Dominance.
I have been reading within the field guide, and it does suggest that these creatures are more or less solitary. There is, per the field guide, a rumor that the hide of boar is resistant to fire, but I doubt it, if I'm honest. Maybe due to its thickness once tanned to leather, but not in general. Apparently they grow to large size because they are cannibals. They eat their own kind. Or so it says at the guide.
I see. They're like bears back home.
what if we lured it out with a boar dummy?
How will you make
Take
this?
the lily pad. Take the lily pad. Put
Listen,
it over a boulder.
Listen, I will be the bait. I will not wear boar costume. Absolutely not.
Well, may I suggest, I think that a larger pit trap may be a challenge given the size of this thing.
I agree.
However, you could still lure it off a cliff, and add a suggestion, if you ran towards the cliff and you are agile, you could grab a rope to swing out and then back, and the boar would have no such luck. If its momentum was fast, it could effectively send it off the edge.
Pardon my lack of understanding. Where is this cliff that you talk about?
Oh, there must be one.
So Gravrock did say that there were cliffs around the cave or the hill that the boar lives on.
Perfect. About how far would you suspect your paces, from cave to cliff?
I really couldn't tell you. I think we have to go to the area.
Oh, no, little
You're
man.
asking-
Little man, I am asking big man. Don't worry. I mean no offense, my friend. Please.
I think there is a cliff that would fit the purposes, but it is about 300 strides of an ogre from cave to cliff.
This is very far.
That sounds like a long way to run with a boar chasing you.
This is very far. I'm very confident. I am not that confident.
Of course, it does not have to start in the cave.
Yes,
it does roam about.
This is true.
If we can lure the boar out, you don't have to have the boar chasing you all the way from the cave. If we can lure the boar in the direction we want, I would suggest A, we need a lure. B, I would suggest some way of I don't know if there's a way to make the ground slippery, but perhaps to loosen the cliff edge, because the boar must know where the cliff is. It's not just going to run over. It's not just going to charge off the edge of a cliff willy-nilly. So I think we need to have a way of weakening or making the cliff
Seem like it is not there. Yeah?
causing it to collapse underfoot. We have a particular section of the cliff
Yes.
that we're ready.
Weakened.
That we have,
Ready to fall. I see.
and furthermore, plant the boar spears at the bottom of the cliff.
What if boar spear break from falling rocks from the cliff falling down, little landslide, you see? Maybe we can break boar's legs? I am sorry, I was talking over you. Say again?
We are improvising. We're putting spears at the bottom of the cliff and hoping that some of them stay intact and upright and that the boar lands on them. Mostly we're hoping that falling off the cliff does the job.
Yeah.
But I do think that we're going to need to add something to the cliff itself to make it more likely that it collapses under the boar's foot rather than hoping that we can just enrage it enough to chase you right off the edge.
I see.
That's my thought. And with that, I'm afraid I have to take off to go pick up my girlfriend.
No worries.
Good. Yeah, thanks for joining for the first half, and I like your contributions here, Sam. This has been helpful.
Please don't use this as well as the bait. Talk to you all next time.
Yep.
Right, yeah, have a
See you
good
around. Alright. My tall friend.
Which one is it? Is that me or?
The one who is sitting with us right here. Pat him on the thigh, because that's probably all I can reach.
He nods in a jangle of bones.
Have you seen this cave before? Can you describe it? Is it up on hill, up on cliff, at the bottom of mountain? Trees all around?
It is a cliff or a hill that stands upon its own, and on top is a large rocky outcropping, and the cave goes directly into the rocks.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Very good. Are there trees around the cave?
Not many. The boar likes to sharpen his tusks on the trees and tends to tear them down.
I see. So I was thinking originally that we bring the board out. We have a tree partially cut. Yeah, we break the tree after the board come out. It gives you wall to go in, take the things, and run back out while the board is occupied. And we do not need to kill the board. We simply need to get away. Whether this is bring to side of cliff, break the cliff, and capture inside of landslide, giving us time to get away. But if there are no trees, it's a bit more difficult.
So if we go check out this cave,
Do we have a?
if we go check it out, we'll know what's there, right?
Do we have
We
a?
won't immediately walk into the cave.
Do we have a time limit?
No.
Okay.
And basically, whenever you get it done.
Yeah, let's spend a day just scoping this out. Or at least
That
part of a
seems
day.
reasonable to me.
Yeah. I feel like we don't have enough information to really get a good plan.
I agree, and I say that not as a tactical mind in any way. But
Yeah.
It makes sense to me that we need to know more.
Like, what if we show up and he's not even in there?
Hey. Even. Alright. My tall friend, can we rest with your people for the night and go on our way in the morning, come back, plan, potentially come back with gifts in the next evening?
Yes, I do not know if Glaverock would be comfortable with you in our village quite so yet, but I can show you where it is safe to camp.
Lovely.
Is it still dawn? Same day?
No.
I thought it was
it's gonna be
dusk.
Morning now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the crack of dawn when Locan was like at your
That's right.
campsite, kind
Gotcha.
of waiting because you guys had failed the watch, and then it took a watch to travel here.
Okay.
So that's morning, and then if you go anywhere else, that'll be another watch.
Okay. So if we go over there, we can head over in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Take the
would
evening. Sorry.
I'd like to look in the pond and vouch to the pond because I assume a god lives in there, and just see if I can see any god-related activity before we move on. So I'll just be taking a little bit of time to do that at some point.
Okay. So nothing kind of overt happens, although at one point it does seem suddenly the edge of the water kind of laps a little bit higher and like hits your feet, but otherwise nothing really happens. And aside from Lilcan, you are alone in this clearing now.
My character is so desperate for something that could conceivably support him in this dire situation that he will bow deeply at that very minor sign.
Okay, so let me confirm your plan really quick. So you want to find like a nearby camp to kind of have as a home base, and then spend some time scouting, kind of get the lay of the land, and then you're gonna do the.
I thought it was
plan.
honestly.
On the edge of a cliff.
Sorry. I honestly thought it was a different part of the day. If we're at like noon, by the time we're heading out, I say we just take the afternoon, sit up top in some trees, check this thing out. If I have to get closer, I'll get closer. You guys just kind of back me up. And then
We could also find a boar, one of its brood, and I could try talking to it.
if you feel confident, by all
You mean
means.
find like another boar? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a smaller boar, maybe one of its cousins. They should be in the area, I believe. I might ask.
Do you talk to all the things that don't normally talk?
I mean, no, not all of the things, not like rocks and stuff like that, but animals will typically.
As someone who looks like a tree, I appreciate that. You can never tell who you're talking to.
Animals will listen to me and they'll tell me the truth.
I see.
It's a little unfortunate, but yes.
Yes, if we find a squirrel or a toad or frog, I will make sure to bring him back to you, and you can interrogate.
Well, if
Or
they
talk
have
to,
useful
or
knowledge.
have tea with. Good.
Perhaps.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, so I'm thinking we head over there for the afternoon. We get
Gotcha.
a better lay of what we're trying to do, and then we come back and actually plan it. And gather,
Yeah, maybe we'll see the comings and goings of the boar.
yeah, and gather
Keep
all
that
of our
backward.
spears and stuff.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's take a 10-minute break because I do have to set up a few extra maps.
Perfect.
And then bye break for